So there's this perspective, a very simple perspective that I want to bring to light. And it's a perspective that we tend to get stuck on as we are trying to feel better. And ironically, that's the perspective that I am bad. So the reason that I feel bad is because I am bad. And this belief creates a whole bunch of reasoning in insecurities. I'm not attractive enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm morally bad. God is mad at me. Um, my parents were bad and left me with these neuroses, so I have anger for my parents and I have to carry them, so I am bad because they are bad. It can spin off into blame, it can spin off as a chain of things. Rather than investigating the feelings themselves, we actually create this chain and create this continuum that isn't actually there by taking the feeling, which is guiding us, and telling us that's not true. These thoughts that say I'm bad are not true, and using it as misunderstood motivation to try to like seek some sort of solution. So we try to abide by the rules. We try to do the right things, not the wrong things. We try to be good and we try not to be bad. Not realizing that already that feeling and that guidance, not taking that guidance for what it is. So a lot of the times people have reactions and they reject these teachings and enlightenment because it makes them notice this huge dissonance between how they are feeling and how they feel they could feel. So instead of seeing it as this amazing gift, and curiously starting to investigate it, they then sort of shoot the messenger. So the messenger must be bad. They must be out to make money. They must be horribly misled. They must be crazy. They must be etc., etc. And I remember having this reaction with Eckhart Tolle as like a 20-year-old or 19-year-old, and just completely not understanding at all what that energy was and mistaking it, and just getting really angry. And some of the strongest reactions we have, it's funny how these things, I start talking about this and it like, I realize how it's healing for me, because I have a hard time when I'm talking to someone and I hit it just the right thing, and I start to believe that I'm bad for pointing it out to them, like I'm ruining their life or something. And yet, like, I've had these reactions myself, and I know now like how hilarious and almost beautiful they are. And yet, like, I still, as that's one of my biggest like faults as a teacher, that I take it personally. Like, I want people to this wasn't supposed to be about me. I want people to feel, I want my teachings to make people feel good. But they're not like ice cream. It's not an instant kind of thing. There's emotions that have to be dealt with, that have to be felt, that have to be welcomed, that have to be seen. And there really is no dissonance. What we're noticing is this this dissonance between how we want to feel and how we believe the enlightened person feels, that state of bliss. And when we feel like crap and we feel that dissonance and somebody is telling us, no, it's this is the actuality, reality is love, it can feel pretty bad. It can feel as if you are bad for feeling bad. And yet, that's never the case. That feeling is guiding you to the good and the love that you really are. Yeah, so I needed a minute there. So isn't that incredibly interesting? We believe that we feel bad, so then we are bad. So this, of course, is misunderstanding the guidance of feeling and understanding that that feeling bad is actually love itself. It is actually what we really are. So if we judge that feeling as bad, therefore we have to judge ourselves as bad as well. So this all goes back to the wrong foundation, the foundation that everything is okay. You can't get it wrong. You are not bad. You are good with a capital G. And then we can start to see that these are not causality. There's no causality. And this ends up with karma meaning something very different from what we thought it meant. That it's only ourselves that we can ever reject. Whether the mind thinks it's somebody else, whether it plays out as prejudice or homophobia or jealousy or anything, it's always ourselves that we are rejecting. And we can't do that. We can't. Because we're non-dual, because we're not two things, there's nothing that can be rejected. And by rejecting something, we actually create it into our experience. It's pretty amazing when you start to see how karma works, that it's actually our rejection of the love that we are. And because we cannot reject it, it always comes right back to us in a loop. It's as if we're throwing a boomerang and it comes right back to us. And if we see what that is when it comes back to us, and when we want to reject it, and when we feel bad, and we drop the thoughts that it is bad, we are bad, that feeling is bad, that boomerang coming back is bad, then we can catch it, and we can receive and be the love that it was made of the entire time.